So, good morning or
Got
good
it.
night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today, joining me on the couch, I have two members from the trio Megatheria. And they're a band that play instrumental music. But they're pretty interesting. You know, if you like that, like Russian circles, type of music and the post metal with some ethereal sounds, and you like to smoke pot, you will like Megatheria. So I'm sponsoring you guys here with the potheads. So I got Mark and Matt. So guys,
Hey,
how are you? How are you
Uh,
tonight?
uh, really good. It's a national holiday in America, so everyone has the day off for the most part. So we're
Oh,
all relaxing.
here in Puerto Rico as well. We celebrate Memorial Day weekend as well.
Beautiful.
Because yeah, we celebrate it because we Puerto Ricans have also been to a lot of the wars. So
yeah, really.
oh, yeah, like we've been there. So yeah, we celebrate it as well. So we're here to talk about you guys released an album this past Friday, and it's
Mhm.
called Gateway. And
Mhm.
I listened to it, and uh, I like some instrumental music, but sometimes there's instrumental music that loses me. But this instrumental album, I like it because every song has a little bit of like a different vibe to it,
Mhm.
and I like the ethereal side to it of the music. So, tell us a little bit about like how the band formed.
uh, I'll field that one. It started with a previous band called Earth Diver that was here in Denver. And me and David, the drummer in Megatheria, when Earth Diver broke up, we decided to stay together. And so we thought about doing the two-man band for a long thing. And eventually I found Mark on Instagram and we had been communicating, and I went over to his house and we jammed on some music, I think maybe once or twice. And I was like, I think you should meet my drummer, David. And at the time I was like, I don't think it's necessarily your style, but when the three of us came together, we made something completely different that we all really liked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. So how was that, Mark? You were in Instagram trying to look for a band and they hit you up?
sort of. The magic of the connected age. I was a recent transplant here in Denver, and was just trying to connect with as many musicians as possible in the scene and follow as many bands as I could. And somehow, Matt and I found each other. Uh, Probably through pedal related accounts and that sort of thing. And then we kind of discovered that we were both in Colorado by happenstance. So yeah, like you mentioned, we jammed for a bit, and then a little bit later we got together to cover a song that they had been cooking up, and it went off well. But we also went off on our own tangent and just started jamming, and a lot of that compositionally is like one to one what you hear on the final album. Like structurally, we hardly had to change anything, and we just found this really very natural, easygoing chemistry. It just fit like a glove, and these guys are so just adaptable that I'm just able to do what I do without understanding theory, and they can just match it and make it work. But all the changes, all the mood transitions, all that was just intuitively understood by the three of us very, very quickly. So it's a special thing.
Yeah, no, it sounds the chemistry of the album, and it's really I like the because like for example the first opening track Gateway, there's like a some Mastodon vibes to it with some Baroness in it, and
Mm.
then
Ooh,
you
thank
go
you.
yeah, musically, yeah, and then you have Glass Mantis, and Glass Mantis is more chill as fuck, and that one goes like in some like groovy ethereal thing. So I like that because there was like a change of pace from that one, and then you have Battysphere, which I don't know why when I heard that name I thought of like Batman.
Oh,
like the bad single or something, and then you have like the longest track on the album, Hibernation, which is a 10-minute track that goes through like sludgier parts, then ethereal parts, then a little bit of like more sludgy parts again, and then it goes back into the ethereal, but it goes nicely into memorial. So yeah, it's 37 minutes of like cool instrumental music that like you can like jam to it, but also like space out to it, which I think it's sometimes it's not that easy to do, but you guys seem to do that flawlessly. So let's
Thank you.
talk a little bit about the tracks for you. Like which one was the first track that you guys created for this album?
well, yeah, Gateway. Like Mark was saying, and we can't stress this enough, the album is almost just an uncut jam session. Mark would throw out these guitar parts and I would just accompany it right then and there. And obviously we cleaned it a little bit up to make it, an actual album, but it just shaped up really well. And so so little had to change. And I think that said it all. I think all three of us were kind of like, this is, I think none of us had that before, where the jams were like, this is fine. So to your question, Gateway is first because that's the first thing we jammed out, but almost the record is almost in order of like what a lot of the stuff that we came up with too. So worked out well that way.
Yeah,
Pretty
you guys
much.
should have let me know that you were going to be smoking on the interview, so I would have smoked myself and would have been.
Oh, you can take a minute now and take care of whatever you got.
Yeah, don't let it stop you if you want to cut
No,
this
I
part
don't.
out.
I don't have none with me,
Ah, that's a damn shame.
so
We'll
I
be
can't.
we'll be over right away.
But yeah, just say.
Book of flight.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, in Colorado, it's legal. Like
Absolutely.
And
yeah, here in Puerto Rico, they have the medicinal marijuana is legal. But you know what? I went to the beach yesterday. Everybody was smoking. Like you
Oh,
could, like you can smell the pot now everywhere, and it's I don't have a problem with it because I think like cigarette smoking is worse, and it does
Oh,
and
yeah.
it does. So yeah, the Gateway, and like you were saying about the album, it feels like a super long track because every song flows into the other one seamlessly. So it does seem like it could have been like a super long track. Like that's things that bands in the 70s did all the time. Like I think Jethro Tull had like an album that was like a long song.
Oh yeah,
And I
Thick as
know
a Brick. Thick as a Brick is like one of my favorites. I love that record so much.
yeah,
That record and Dark Side of the Moon were the pretty obvious ones for me. There's just no dead space and it's just constant sound, whether it be music or loops or ethereal stuff. And that's reflective of the live show. We hate dead air. We hate dead space. We hate when a band seems like they're really unprepared. They're all tuning and you can hear a pin drop. Like that always drove us crazy. So we wanted the record and the live show to always have some kind of audio going.
Yeah. So you're not a band that's going to do breakdowns.
No, not anytime soon.
There will be, yeah, it's not like metalcore, it's like the breakdown. Like, then it goes, yeah. Yeah, no, it's like that long, like long flowing sound. And I like the band pictures because like, the black metal dudes, they're all like in this like evil looking forest, but not you guys, you're in a nice looking forest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're lucky to live around such things. That's right outside of my house, actually.
Oh, that's that's amazing. The thing with Colorado, I know it has a lot of like pretty places to go and see and nature. Plus, you guys have that look that you would be outdoorsy people. And here I have the picture of you guys playing on a gig. So yeah, that looks super cool as hell. The picture of you guys playing. So yeah, I'm thinking, this music has to sound good live. And when you play this album, do you play it like in sequence? Because I think this is meant to be listened in sequence.
Yeah, 100%. We've played it in full, I think, 3 times now, for the past 3 shows. And
Yep.
the initial bunch of them were all jammed out and figured out pretty early, with the exception of Hibernation, the longest one, which came a good deal later. So for a while, the set list was just that without Hibernation until we got that figured out. And since we have, it's just been implemented that we just played the album front to back, and there are zero studio effects or anything going on. Like, the gear you hear on the album is exactly what we use live. Every pedal, every riff, everything. It's just one-to-one, like exactly what it is live.
Yeah,
Including
super minimal overdubs.
Yeah, including the transitions in between the tracks, which are thanks to this.
And the good
infinite
thing
pedal.
is that you don't have to deal with a over the top pretentious singer.
Yes.
And straight. Yeah.
Like, it's like, I can't sing, my throat hurts, or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, this music, like, if you added vocals at some time, it would be cool. But I don't think it need vocals. Like, I think the music speaks for itself. And
Thank you.
yeah, so I want to show the artwork for the people who haven't seen.
Oh, please.
Here's the artwork, because the artwork is super amazing. And so who worked on this artwork?
Oh, Mark should field that one.
Yeah, the artist is Annika Wiedner. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. We've only corresponded in email. She's an illustrator from Germany that I found through some other bands. She had just done merch designs for them, and I loved the body of work and had this concept from pretty early on. Once we just had the word gateway, or the concept of it as a track, this image and this sort of scenario was just in my mind for a while. So we commissioned her to create the illustration, which was just the line work, and then I did all the color and texture treatment for it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And I had to Google, like, I'm like, what was a megatheria? So I Googled it. So apparently,
What did you get? I'm curious.
Yeah.
well, it said that it's like Megatherian with an N. It's like an ancient sloth from
Right.
years ago,
correct.
and it's extinct. I'm like, it makes sense, because this music is not like super fast. So yeah, sloth is like kind of like chill and slow. So I wonder, is
I
that the
never
meaning
thought
of
of it
the
like
name?
that.
What
I
was
think
your
for
question?
us, for me, it's more the prehistoric thing, because it's a
Yeah, it's the
prehistoric animal, and we consider ourselves like prehistoric post-rock. We kind of have these big ethereal open spaces, which to me kind of sound like a primordial world, or a world with very few people in it.
Yeah, and the same goes for just a living thing. It's just this heavy, lumbering, majestic creature. I'm happy to be lumped into the prehistoric beast category as far as
Yeah, I got no
names
problem with it.
go. Yeah, so that's I'm very
We
happy.
are mastodon adjacent because of that.
Right.
Hey, maybe you could have like a mascot, like a giant sloth goes on stage and goes
At
through
the very,
That's our
like
Eddie.
there's some
yeah, like
merch
no,
coming, I'm
instead of
sure,
going
with
through the stage, it goes through the mosh pit. Like, people are like, what the fuck is that? And the sloth goes into the stage.
we could encourage slow moshing and start a new movement.
Well,
If someone's willing to volunteer, then yeah.
yeah, like and then just film that, and let's see what happens to that guy dressed as a sloth, because that would be very
Well,
interesting.
hopefully it
So, yeah,
goes viral, man.
yeah, that will go viral. So I had to Google the name, because I'm like, Megatheria. I'm like, let me see what that name, and I got like a different. It has the prehistoric. I'm like, that makes sense with the name, but it's a cool name, and it looks cool in a logo. So
Doesn't it though?
Thank you.
yeah, when
Mark really nailed it. That was his idea.
No, thanks. Yeah, I don't know
Awesome.
how it entered my vocabulary, but it just was somehow on the list of possible band names. And we felt that it fit because it works for the living thing that it represents, but also it just sounds like a place or a state of mind, just for that IA suffix, and really enjoyed the ambiguity of that. It is what you make it, like every band name. What the hell is a Smashing Pumpkin?
Right.
Oh my,
But it works.
I love the Smashing Pumpkins, except their
Really?
last album. I
It was
reviewed
rough. I only listened to the single. I was like, oh boy.
I reviewed the album with a friend of mine. Like we reviewed the album as we reviewed Act 1, Act 2, and then we did Act 3. And after we did Act 3, we talked about the album as a whole. And I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm like, this is not good. You shouldn't call this like the follow-up to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, because it's not.
Right.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I want to write to Billy, come on, Billy, just throw away the synth, play that fucking guitar, have Jimmy play his drums, and let's have a rock album.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird synth in that. Boy, howdy.
Yeah, so yeah, I wasn't afraid to say it, because I saw some reviewers that were like, no, it's good, it's genius. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it sucks. And people are like, oh, I'm like you're not a true fan. I'm like, so you mean to say that if I like to be a true fan, you have to like everything, even if it's shit? I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say the truth of what I feel about that album. And yeah, it wasn't good. But going back to your album, because yeah, you just mentioned the Smashing Pumpkins. So for you, which of the songs was the hardest to create musically, like the most challenging?
It was definitely Hibernation, right, Mark? Like, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think so.
Being the longest track, we had to just learn. We would learn like a minute of it, and then we'd learn another minute of it, and we had to kind of refine all the parts and the transitions. Like when I start doing like the bass synthesizer and just getting that all to sync up. And David has to like hit what is that, Mark? The lever on his snare.
Yeah, the snares are off for like the first half of the song, and then at some point with an
he flips them, but he has to time it just right. And
yeah, he does not have much of a chance to do so. Like he's got.
It is a real dance, and you and I are going pedal city on that one. I mean, it's a stomping just nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every building measure of it has some sort of extra effect added, at least for the first like 2 or 3 minutes, and then that end section where it's extra tool like is all the guitar lead lines are very similar, but they are different.
Oh yeah,
enough of like just embedding those differences into memory of like just the slightest difference between some of them. But again, it's very representative of the jam that we carved out of it. We probably had to edit that one the most because I think it was originally 16.
Oh my, yeah, it was.
The other ones were a lot closer and ready to go. The other ones were like 90% there.
I forgot about that.
Was probably,
yeah, we had to trim it down and then learn it and then get all the cues right. And then, that was, and then also once we fit it into the set list, like what's the loop after? And I think after Hibernation is when we talked to the audience. So we had to get that right too and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Hibernation is long for you, but for Dream Theater is a short song.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's just
for Dream Theater. That's just the half. That's the midpoint of the song.
I like to measure time by opeths as well. Like I could get there in 30 minutes or 3 opeths.
Oh man!
But which opeth? Like the old school opeth, or the more like proggier 70s opeth that the last album?
Just choose any 10-minute song. it's all throughout their career, really.
When you play
I enjoy
song,
all of them.
Yeah, when you get your sloth mascot, when you play Hibernation, like the sloth should just like go into sleep and go into hibernation while the song is playing.
Perfect.
Love it.
Yeah, we got
to reenact the song.
We got a stage manager right here.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
And I guess they die in hibernation, and then we hold a memorial service afterwards.
There you go.
Damn. And they enter the gateway, and it starts all over again.
I guess we had a concept album the whole time. Didn't even know it, man.
You didn't
It's
know
just,
it. You had a concept album.
the life
and-
cycle of this prehistoric beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you drinking, Matt?
This is it's a whiskey. I think it's a Bullet. It's a Colorado local one. That's why I wanted to drink it.
Nice. Maybe yeah,
Or
drinking.
no, you know what it is? It's Tin Cup. Sorry, I have Bullet in the cupboard. This is Tin Cup. Tin Cup. It comes with a little tin shot glass, so you get to keep them. And I always like that. It's free shot glasses, but it's actually pretty good whiskey, and it's a local Colorado one.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe they can sponsor the band. But yeah, I'm telling you, Matt, you could be the second chill dude on a couch because you really look like you're super chill.
Oh yeah, I love this kind of stuff. I'm a failed communications major, so I got no problem with audiences or people or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I know the album right now is out, but it's not physical. People can stream it and buy it.
It
I
is
think it's
physical if you indulge in the compact disc.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it
We'll
is
mail
on
you a
CD.
CD. Just give us the address.
Yeah, and vinyl is getting figured out as well.
But it's
Oh,
gonna happen.
Yeah,
It's
it is
absolutely happening. There's no maybe.
Yeah.
So you heard
yeah,
it
just
here on the
figuring
Shield on a
out,
Couch. There's gonna be vinyl.
Right.
Yeah,
100%
no,
confirmed.
we'll be happy to update everyone once the details are in place. It takes ages.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah. Plus,
it's
you
not
guys
cheap.
are an independent band. Do it yourself. How does it feel to be an independent band and get shit done yourself? Because it's a lot of work, but it has to be very gratifying at the end.
Yeah, I would say immensely more rewarding because we're just doing it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No label taking half your shit.
So far, so good. Yeah, the only thing a label can do for us is hook up touring opportunities, or just shows in general. But otherwise, I think that aspect is pretty obsolete. Like as far as representing your band and all that, you've got all the tools available.
Nice. I'll put the link for everyone who wants to buy the album physically, so they can get it. I'll post it in the description so people who want to get and support Megatheria can do so. And
Absolutely.
so right now you've done shows in Denver.
Yeah.
Do you usually tour around Denver, or have you toured like somewhere else right now?
We've
It's-
not gone anywhere else yet, really. Yeah, like just like 2 hours south of here or so in Pueblo, and we'll be in Fort Collins, which is like an hour north, in about a month or so. So it's just been Denver so far, but we are trying to organize a little bit of a very minor mini tour soon. I mean, as far as out of state stuff goes, it's probably just going to be Albuquerque.
Yeah, American
maybe,
Southwest,
yeah,
Pacific
yeah.
Northwest, maybe that kind of stuff is, I think,
Yeah.
what we're more interested in anyway. I think we would get a better reception in those places as well.
I think so too. Yeah. I think those places, yeah, they like that type of music. There's some places that, for example, I don't see you guys going to tour in Miami.
David, our drummer's from Florida. He'd probably
He's
love
from
it. I bet
Tampa.
his family would come see him, but then we're leaving right after.
I lived 5 years in Miami, and I can tell you Miami is fucking overrated.
Really?
Oh, I hated Miami. Like I can say it now, I don't live there. Yes, I hated Miami. Like it's hot, but you can't escape the weather, and people are fucking mean. Like
Damn.
so yeah, not like you guys. You like Denver. Like if everyone's like you guys, everyone's super chilled and relaxed. So before I let you guys go, like I know that already Matt said a few albums that he's very into, but we'll talk about like albums that inspired you to become a musician. So Mark, what albums growing up for you like inspired you to become a musician?
Oh, lots of stuff. I think the threshold of going from more of an enthusiastic listener to wanting to be a musician would Isis Panopticon is huge for me. Mastodon's Leviathan changed my brain and
Oh,
and
that album is
it just
that album
reprogrammed
is
me
Right,
for
your brain chemistry, like that's it. It'll do it to you. It'll do it.
yeah. Yeah, those are huge. I mean, lots of stuff that isn't necessarily heavy too, you know, like Explosions in the Sky, Earth is Not a Cold Dead Place. The first Gorillaz album just
Oh
also
yeah.
melted my brain, like
Oh
musically.
my
There's
God.
nothing else quite like that.
Mark, I didn't know that about you. That's I
Oh,
love.
yeah.
I played that record so much too.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's so eclectic. I love that. It's like our
Yeah.
music. Yay!
Yeah, those are, I mean, I could list just thousands of them, honestly, but yeah, Isis was huge. I came from a drumming background, and transitioning to guitar like around college time, that really just illustrated what could be done with a lot of space and distortion. Yeah. Yeah, Matt, you got any other albums?
Yeah. I
Visuals?
mean, for me, the trajectory was. I remember very vividly. I had a guy my senior year who was super into Less Than Jake, which is like a ska band, but
my
they
God, I
did
remember
have a
them.
really decent. What?
I remember Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I did listen a little bit of them, but I did mostly Less Than Jake, and then a lot of Green Day, and both of those bass players were accessible, but not doing just the bare minimum. And so that kind of, I was playing guitar when I was 18 and wanted to switch to bass, and so those two guys really kind of got me going. And then I wanted more. I was kind of like, oh, I was like, okay, I get this level, but I was like, what's the next level? And was just Googling bands with good bass players. And so then it was a lot of
Les
stuff from the
Claypool?
60s. What?
Did you listen to Les Claypool from Primus?
Yeah, that's exactly what it came up. It was like, well, let's listen to Rush, and let's listen to Primus and The Who and Led Zeppelin. John Paul Jones is probably my favorite bass player. He just really got me going and really inspired me. And playing his stuff, especially trying to play with a lot of the live stuff, would always leave me like really tired. And it was like, okay, I really got to step my game up, because he played that without any breaks, and it always gave me a level to try to reach up to. And so yeah, guys like Les and Jaco Pastorius as well, those kind of big heavy hitters. Justin Chancellor of Tool and his extensive use of pedals really kind of opened up my
I saw
palette and my
Tool.
toolbox.
It's amazing. Tool, I saw Tool live, and I got to see they're all amazing musicians, even though their singer can be a dick. Yeah, but yeah, they're amazing musicians.
Yeah,
And Jaco
they're
Pastorius,
real,
yeah,
real.
you mentioned Jaco. Yeah, I saw his documentary because I didn't know him a few years ago, and my cousin also plays bass, and he likes a lot of reggae. And he's like, you should check out Jaco Pastorius, because for a record release day, he bought like a vinyl that they have of like Ultimate Jaco Pastorius. And I saw the movie. Yeah, I saw the movie, and I'm like, that dude was he was in another level. And I think even Robert Trujillo mentions him like an inspiration. So yeah, I know a lot of people like mention Jaco Pastorius, but yeah, the guy was an amazing. I think he was from Brazil, right?
You know, I don't remember.
Yeah,
No, I
I'm
thought
not
he grew
sure.
up in Florida.
Yeah, I gotta check it
Because
out.
I
But
remember he always
remember,
complained about the humidity on his basses, because he had the upright and the humidity is driving him crazy. Because then he switched to standard and he had a little bit more control over the swelling of the wood or something to that effect.
yes, Florida is hot as fuck. So yeah, I would imagine. So Matt, Matt and Mark, it's been awesome chatting with you guys. And for those of you watching, the band actually emailed me and sent me their music before it released so I can listen to it. And I'm like, yeah, let's do an interview. So if you are in a band that it's not in a huge label and want to get your music out there, and hit me up. I will listen to the music, and we can do an interview and things like that, so more people get into your music. So don't be afraid to write to me. I'm a Shield dude. I'm accessible. So yeah, you can write to me, and we can do an interview. And please, if you like ethereal, sludgy, instrumental music does not sleep on Megatheria. They released the album last Friday, so it's out everywhere. Here is the artwork for people who haven't seen it. So I'll put the link for people who want to support the band and buy it physically. And vinyl will come soon. So when the band has the vinyl, like they'll put it in their socials, and I'll put your socials so people can follow you. So anything you would like to say before we go to the people who watch this video?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity. Being such a new band, we don't have like the biggest following ever, but we really wanted to get out and do interviews and promote the new record with people that would actually be interested. And you've done that, Mr. Chill Dude on the Couch. So we just wanted to thank you. We appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no, and the album, the music is good. Sometimes people sleep on bands because they're like, oh, I don't know this name, I'm not going to listen to it. I call those music snobs. Or there's the other type of people like, there's no good music after leaving high school. Yes, there is. You just gotta get out of your lazy ass and listen to it. And there's no excuse right now. You can listen. There's streaming services. Like, you can find any fucking music that you want nowadays. It's not like in the past where you listen to a single, you bought an album, and then you were like, damn you, Chumbawamba, you suck. like only pumping was good.
Yeah.
I got that a couple times. I remember that. Yeah, I bought a couple lemons in my day too.
I bought that Chumbawamba. And I'm telling you, that's the only good song on there. So that happened. But right now, there's no excuse. You can check out an album and you can decide if you want to buy it because you've listened to it online. So people, again, listen to Megatheria and leave a comment what you think of the band and instrumental music. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you